of soul on the beat, cooking up that heat.
We are live.
We back.
We are back.
I didn't realize it's been so long.
April.
Wow.
It's been a long time.
9 months.
Little mid-season break.
Yeah.
Little mid-season finale. I think we did 2 or 3, and then took a break. Shit, man. 2022 is gone. Congratulations, we made it. Yeah, man. How was your 22?
Overall, I'd give it a solid A.
Oh shit! Hold on. We got the Wash Dads champ, basketball champ.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Old man basketball league. Fall 22 champs. We only had 5 players for the playoffs. We had no subs. Overcame adversity.
Amen.
Won a game in double overtime.
Amen.
Then came back and played right after that.
Black excellence.
Won again.
Black excellence.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Congrats.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. 22 was interesting. I remember it, but I don't.
Yeah.
It
went by really fast.
It went by fast. It went by like a summer. Is how it felt. Like, I saw somebody post yesterday that January 6th happened 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
And I was like, then what happened last year?
Right.
Because I could have swore I seen them crazy white people going up on the steps last year.
Ashley Babbitt.
Hey man.
R.I.P.
Babbitt pack all day.
The memes and the tweets that were just like absolutely just flaming her up. Like, on one hand, obviously, someone died. It's not good. Okay. But, I mean,
innocent people died.
Yes.
She was not one of them.
She was not.
She was not.
So,
you know the saying, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
She definitely won that grand prize.
She played a stupid game and hit the lottery. So,
that's
hey
tough.
man, look, sucks to be you.
It does.
But you know,
It does.
I'm not pouring out no liquor for her. All right, coffee's done. I can wake up. Keep elevated. This is episode 16 of season 2.
Season 2.
Instead of jumping into season 3, we'll actually do enough to call this a full season. So we are back, man. Welcome everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching. We appreciate you jumping into this video element. So you might see some changes here and there, trying out a few things. Just like we said in the beginning, want to try some cool shit and see what sticks.
Yeah. I guess I should also mention for 2022 to go along with my A rating. Maybe I'll bump it to an A+. Because I did have another child. So that is worth pointing out.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yes. Baby number 4, daughter number 3.
Ooh.
We out here. But I'm out of the game.
That's man. I don't have daughters.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that comes with that I can't identify with. But from what I hear, having daughters is it's a joy.
It is.
It's a joy, but it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Do you have guns?
No.
You will.
I got a baseball bat by the bed. You know, it's funny. I mean, at this age, like, the work aspect of it, it's pretty similar to the son. Oh, speaking of son, there's one right there. All right. But then there's like times that pop up, like at school, you know, or daycare, in the class.
The joys of fatherhood, the joys of parenting, the joys of having little ones who can't quite control themselves.
Yeah, he's not feeling very joyous right now, but
nah.
So they sent us a picture at daycare of the baby, and there's like a little boy baby too, and like future boyfriend. I saw that, I was like,
that's what they said?
Yeah, I'm like,
oh shit.
I don't know how I feel about this. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of early in the game. I was like, all right, they're just playing. It's just a joke. Let me calm down. So there was that little aspect of being a father to daughters. I'm like, all right, let me chill though. Let me
Yeah,
chill.
man,
It's just jokes.
How old is this kid? What, like 5 months,
Yeah,
6
about
months?
5, 6 months. Like,
we don't know
hey,
what
old enough
stock
to get
you
fucked
come
up,
from.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't know what stock you come from, little nigga. Come on, man.
They're like having like kiss
Black
her on
kid.
the cheek and stuff. I'm like, yo, I mean, at this age, like, first of all, her immune system isn't fully developed.
Black kid,
Yeah,
white kid.
he's mixed. Mixed half and half black, half white.
You knew what they were
Like, I
doing.
don't know where his mouth has been. You know what I'm saying? Like, get off of her cheek, bro. You feel me? Like, you probably sucking some titty. You know what I'm saying? I don't want other titty on my daughter's cheek. You feel me?
There's a lot of strange titties in the world.
A lot of strange titties.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You can't trust all titties.
But that's the price you pay with daycare. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes things go a little bit awry.
Yeah. We didn't have a whole lot of experience with daycare. Thankfully, I don't like daycare.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
it's
It's expensive.
as fuck.
All these other children you don't know. I don't know all these adults.
Yeah.
I don't know if my kid's not gonna like them. It's a cesspool for disease.
There are some cons. There are some cons, but this particular school / daycare, they go from like newborn or infant up through kindergarten, and so they have like actual lessons and stuff as the kids get older. So they actually learn some useful things and like some Spanish, and they do artwork and then go outside. So they do things that if I were having the kids at home, I mean, my wife does a lot, but it'd still be a lot for her because I'd be working.
Right.
So like we appreciate it, but it's just expensive. And then you have those unknown factors. Like last year, hold on, let's go back to 2022 real quick.
Okay.
I think it was last year. It might have been like early in the year. They sent one of our kids home, and like her front teeth were chipped. Like when she came home, and we were like, "What happened here? What happened at school?" And apparently she fell, but like never cried. But she fell hard enough to chip her front teeth. So the teachers claimed to like didn't know what happened. There was no incident report. So we were like, "What the fuck?" So we went up there asking some questions, and they're like, yeah, I mean, she never cried, but she seems okay. So we're like, all right, I mean, she's okay, and they're baby teeth, so they'll grow back.
Yeah.
So, or once they fall out. But it's just like, all right, daycare be wilding sometimes.
Yeah. My youngest went through some beef at daycare at the last one he was at, and we're switching locations for him, but something happened. Something happened, and there's one incident we know of before we move on where some kid, I think bit him.
Oh, snap.
And then after that, it was just war with everybody. Like, he was throwing shit, he was flipping shit, he was like, he walked into class, sat down, grabbed one of them wooden blocks, popped the kid in the face with it.
Damn.
It was like,
one of y'all niggas bit me. I don't know.
Somebody did
Somebody
this.
getting it.
Everybody gonna
getting
pay. Everybody's gonna pay. And quite honestly, I'm not mad at him. And at some point, it seemed like they couldn't quite deal with his reaction to being wronged. Mm-hmm. And so, we found a location that could better suit him.
Respect.
But I don't know, man. I feel like that kind of plays into the whole daycare concern thing. It's like, I don't know what you people can really deal with. Mm-hmm. You might have some kind of certifications to where you can watch children and educate children, but that don't mean you know how to deal with what comes with all these different
and they ain't getting paid shit either. Like, Friday, when I dropped off, someone was getting interviewed, and I like overheard like the interview, and they were saying, for salary, like I expect like 29 to 32. I'm like, you got to deal with all these kids, not your kids, other people's kids, changing all these shitty diapers, cleaning up, throw up, whatever, for $29,000 a year. Like,
oh, I thought you were saying hourly.
No.
Oh,
29 to 32K.
No.
Yeah, bro.
No. Any job I'm doing, if I'm making 30K, caring is not part of the job.
Hell no.
I'll tolerate things, and when it's all smooth, it's cool. I'll do the job. But when things start to kind of give me pushback, I'm only getting 30K. Caring is not something I was hired to do.
Can't do it.
Nah, can't do that. No.
Yeah, bro.
I'm like, yo, damn, they getting paid pretty good doing
Yeah,
that.
30. Yeah, that's not. But no, 30
an hour.
max.
30 an hour, you'd be getting about what, six?
Man, that's like 50 to 60, somewhere in that range.
It's
55.
like 61, 60K, something like that. And that's not the most terrible in the world.
Let's see. Let's do it.
You know,
that's
a living wage.
Yeah. So
You know?
32 hours times what? 80 hours a week times 26 pay periods. Oh, that's 66.5.
66.5
Yeah.
at 30.
At 32.
32. Okay.
At 30, 62.4.
That's not the worst. That's definitely a livable wage. Damn. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Wrapping up 2022. Highlights and lowlights. So you had a child, healthy, beautiful child, amazing. You won the championship.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I what were my highlights? What seems like a low light was a highlight. I did work 2 jobs for a while, so that brought me some extra bread. So that's a highlight. I'll take that.
Nothing wrong with extra bread.
Yeah, man. 2022 is one of those years that's like, it was good by not being bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of them years where it was like, things ran fairly smooth. We didn't have any major situations. There were like surgeries in the family, but nothing that was not expected.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. And so since everything was expected, it was all good. You know, recoveries all went well. What were some situations that happened outside of our personal lives though? Like, I don't remember what happened last year.
Bro, like, yeah, it all runs together.
It's like it was a blur, and then Takeoff died. That was a low light. And then it was just, everything just kept going from there.
Yep.
You know,
Vin Diesel sent that message to Putin, got him spooked.
Vin Diesel.
I need a home by
Highlight
for family.
Vin Diesel did send out the IG post, and Brittany Griner came home.
Yeah, like what,
low light.
2 weeks later.
Keep Elevated did not get the credit that we deserve for putting that word out earlier in our Free Britney episode, which you can see we had before Vin Diesel even showed any care.
Months
about
ahead of time.
Britney
March,
Griner.
April time frame.
You know, once again, the black man is not getting full credit for the things that we've done, but this is America.
But he's black too, right? Any half at least? Black adjacent?
He's blackish.
There's some black in there.
He's one of those
He
guys that's like, he's black when it counts. And he's not quite black when it doesn't
Mark
quite work
Vincent.
out for him. Is that his name?
That's his real name. Mark Vincent.
What the fuck?
Well, call me Vin Diesel. Family.
Vin. So Vin is short for his last name, and Diesel, I
Diesel's
guess,
just
because he's
sounds
got,
cool.
got muscles and
Diesel.
shit.
Yep.
That's. I thought this guy had a cool name. Shit.
Nah.
Well, hey man. I'm sure as many would say, 2022. See you later. Not gonna miss you. Hopefully things go better this year than they did last year for most people.
Yep.
For the people that it sucked for, that it should have sucked for, I hope this year is worse than last year. And you know, that's it. That's just what it is, man. I'm not going into this year with fake positivity for the people that I don't fuck with.
Real.
Straight like that.
Real.
All right. So to round out our last year shit. One of the biggest stories of the past 2 years. Somewhat came to an end. I'm pretty sure it's going to continue to rear its ugly head every few months as this goes on. Tory Lanez was found guilty of 3 charges that he got from the situation that led to the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. Did you follow the case at all?
Loosely. I saw stuff pop up on Twitter occasionally, but I didn't read too much about it.
Okay. So he was found guilty of possession of a weapon, I think an unregistered weapon, shooting the weapon, like reckless endangerment, and then the assault, which is her being hit. It's, man, this is one of them that was like, from what people were hearing, from me following it, it seemed like he possibly was going to beat the charge. Not because of being proven innocent, but there was so much just muddy shit going on with it.
Right.
But that's not the thing that I think is important here. If he's guilty, he's guilty. It is what it is. He's got to do his time. I think the charge with the longest sentence is the assault, and I think that has like up to 10 years. So usually when you have multiple charges, they run concurrent. Yeah. So he'll probably end up doing 5 years, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. Everybody's a Twitter lawyer. Everybody's a Twitter doctor. Everybody's a Twitter music attorney when the shit goes down. Everybody's a expert when it comes to arguing on the timeline. But enough of that. Whatever. One of the things that I seen people arguing about, or a question that I seen come up, was why can't you believe black women? And that, I think, kind of ran side by side with the thought of believe black women, which also runs side by side with the idea of believe all women. What do you think? When you hear somebody just flat out just say, hey, believe black women or believe all women, when they make a claim or a statement of having been wronged, assaulted, however you want to put it.
Right.
What is your initial thought when you hear that? What's your take when you hear that?
My initial take is, or stance, I would say, is I agree with that. I can get behind that. Of course, there's going to be the exceptions and the people who are trying to take advantage of that by making false claims, false allegations, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like that number is probably smaller than the people who are actually telling the truth. And so I think based on that, believe first, gather the evidence. Of course, like, you don't want to go straight balls to the wall, try to like mud rake everybody, be like, hey, Tory Lanez is a fucking blah 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 blah. Like, wait till you get the evidence before you like draw like damning character assassination conclusions. You know what I'm saying? But I think society as a whole does a pretty poor job of supporting women, and I think that we've seen so many instances now, especially with social media, how everything is just so magnified, right? Of instances where people are not believed and they end up being vindicated, like, hey, yeah, this person actually did it, or at least the courts found the accused guilty or whatever. So I would err on the side of caution, I suppose, or at least on the side of the numbers, and say, all right, believe them first, because that's probably the most likely outcome, and then gather your evidence and go from there. I don't think anyone should like lose their career over baseless allegations. Like, if there's facts there that's investigated and there may be some substance there, okay. But if you're investigating and it seems like, hey, this shit's made up, they just want to get the clout or whatever, then obviously be like, hey, we still support this guy too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes both ways.
Does that second part with the, all right, it's proven that it didn't happen, does that part really ever work out for the person that's already been accused?
They probably won't get back to the heights they were at initially. Yes. But I think there could be some bounce back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, OJ. You know, of course he wasn't the juice anymore, but you know, he got a little bit of bounce back, at least in the black community. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are still people who say he didn't do it, even though he wrote a book that said, if I did it, this is how I would do it. And it was kind of similar to how it actually happened.
Right. Yeah, man. I think I have an issue with the all statement. I take issue with treating things as like, now granted, when these slogans are created, is usually a attention grab.
Yeah.
It's, you know, believe all women. But it's not as attractive to say, hey, give all women the space to make their accusation and hear them out and weigh all the information that you have and take in all the evidence and treat it all fit. Like, that's too much of a mouthful.
Right.
I don't like the all. I got a beef with the all. Like, for instance, like, you'll have a situation like Gervonta Davis. His baby mother accused him of abusing her. Mm-hmm. Called the police. Now that could have went way left just for introducing the police into that situation. Right. She then doubled back like a day or two later and was like, I was emotional, I made this accusation. Now granted, most situations are not going to be that.
Right.
Fair. I get that. But like, unless I know somebody personally, I don't believe all of anybody. Like, if I hear an accusation, take it serious.
Right.
Investigate it. See what comes of it. Now, you have technicalities where somebody may beat a charge based off of, well, it can't be proven one way or the other. At that point, you make a judgment call on how you feel about it. I get that. I can't. Maybe it's because I just don't follow, like, Twitter standards, I guess I would call it, or a social media standard of whatever the hashtag says is what it is. Now, granted, yes, there's the breakdown of, all right, once you get past that, there's the give the place to hear them out.
Right.
You know, like in the medical side of thing, like, granted, it's proven that black women suffer the most out of everybody.
Yep.
I've seen it. My wife has suffered in the hospital because of not being taken serious when being vocal about pain that she's going through.
Nah, you good.
It's like, oh, it seems more like it's more of something that's just mental. It seems like, you know, it can't really be that bad because the charts don't show. Like, man, fuck them charts. The charts are not going to tell you what I'm really going through. So I get that. That's where I take serious to believe them when they tell you they're going through something.
Mm-hmm.
I have some pushback, or just kind of a slow down when it's what's being said can affect someone else, because you never know. You know, sometimes it could be a situation where, not to victim blame, because things always get turned into victim blaming, but there can be shared responsibilities in situations.
Sure.
Like, you have are you familiar with this kid Kai Cenet?
Yeah, I saw
Twitch
the tweets
streamer.
yesterday. Yeah,
like,
I didn't know who he was. I just saw the woman's tweets.
Right, and so, like, I've seen just in pieces, like, people are accusing him of being a rapist or supporting rapists.
Yeah, like accessory and
shit.
shit.
It's like, you don't have all the information,
right?
But you have an accusation of, oh, he supported a rapist, he tried to protect a rapist, and it's like, we don't have all the information. Yeah. But if you go by the believe all, or, you know, believe first and then question later, it's like, that starts to get into the realm of guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. And I I just feel like it's dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. I mean, Twitter definitely has a snowball effect. Like, you say one thing, and all of a sudden people are like piling on it. You know what I'm saying? So, just like in reading that woman's initial tweets, I forgot what her name was. I mean, she was
Joy something,
huh?
Joy something.
That sounds right.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, she was talking about Kai Cenet or whatever, just being like, hey, like, you abandoned me, you left me, blah, blah, blah. She never said, hey, this guy raped me or anything. She said, hey, this other guy is the one who did it. And then everyone else is, like, focusing on Kai Cenet because he is the more well-known person. You know, he's the one whose hashtag is going to be the trendiest. Everyone wants to go viral. They all want to have that clout. They don't really care about the victim. They don't care about the outcome of things. They just want to have their 10 seconds of fame where, hey,
in the moment.
Yeah, my tweet got 50,000 likes and 25,000 retweets. Oh, shit. I made it. Whatever else happens, I don't care. Kai Cenet, have fun. Joy lady, have fun. Whatever. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you have to be careful about where you're making your accusations or trying to tell your story. I mean, yes, Twitter can get your story out there to a wide mass of people very quickly, but then it also has the power to distract from the actual point of what you're trying to say.
Right. Yeah, man. That's social media is a very slippery slope. And it gets to the point to where it's like you can try to say one thing, and when other people join in on it and jump on it, you can't reel it back in. It's like it's the Pandora's box. Once you open it and other people get a hold of that, man, it's because who knows how bad this is going to get for him and his Twitch career. And this guy makes, I think, millions of dollars off of this.
Yeah,
and now it's like you're going to have, no matter what, you're going to have brands and people that may have sponsored him who's going to look at that and like, no matter what,
just having his name associated
the clearing
with it,
of your name is not going to get the same attention of saying that you protected a rapist.
Right.
And so we can't stand next to you. We can't sponsor you. We can't this. We can't that. You can't now turn this thing that you're doing here, which is already very lucrative for you. You can't turn that into this major business. You can't flip that into this conglomerate that you probably had a plan on. And it's like, it's all because how things were worded. Man, and then, I mean, it's not like he can turn around and sue her. One, she more than likely does not have the money to pay out what his losses really are. Yeah. And then two, he'll look like he's attacking a victim, which is going to also be bad for him. It's like, what recourse do you have? You just got to take it.
Yeah. In these situations there's got to be a loser, right? It's a zero sum game. So you just got to try to make a judgment call based on, you know, what is perceived as, you know, the actual things that occurred. I don't want to use the word facts because, I mean, the internet doesn't know the facts, right? Right. But it's like you said, it's definitely a very slippery slope. And for every Kai Cenet whose career is ruined based on, you know, association with things, there's dozens of women who also were actually assaulted or whatever, whose pleas fall on deaf ears. So it's tough.
Yeah, man. I'll say, to kind of cap that off, I don't know if I could stand by the whole believe all, but, you know, obviously protect women. Yeah. You know, protect black women. Protect the women you know. Protect the women that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Except for Ashley Babbitt.
Savage. Man.
It is what it is. Yeah. All right, let's get to the real shit though. On what day was this? On the 2nd. On the 2nd, DeMar Hamlin. This was the Bills and the Bengals. Yep. The Bills and the Bengals. They were playing. And this was in the later portion of the first quarter. If you're unaware. And everything's going as normal. He goes for a tackle. Tackles. He got his play off. Stood up and dropped. And it's probably the scariest thing I've seen in the sports highlight, I guess you would call it, that I've probably ever seen, like, live. I've seen Lawrence Taylor fall on dude's leg and break it. I've seen people get knocked out in the ring. I've seen people get kicked in the head playing rugby, playing soccer, all that. And it's like a lot of that still seems like it's kind of the risk that comes with it.
Right.
What happened with DeMar was one of those situations that's like, we really might have just seen a man die on the field. And like, I forget how I found out about it. I think it was something that came through in the chat. I don't know if you sent the highlight on there or Cody sent it. Shout out Cody. Kicking Matt's ass right now.
Our good buddy Theo is getting demolished in a fitness challenge by not really participating.
And when I saw it, I was like, at first it looked like he stood up. Maybe he stood up too fast and he just passed out.
Yeah, he like popped up. Yeah.
And then, man, and they were like, he was on the ground for like 9 minutes. They had to get his heart beating again.
Yep.
You know, and of course, everybody turns into a Twitter doctor, and it's like, well, lack of oxygen. You know, real concerns though, because it's like you hear somebody's heart wasn't beating, they're not breathing, and to go so long without breathing, that's a long time without oxygen to the brain. And I really thought like either he was going to die on the field, or they might announce that he passed away on the way to the hospital. You know, yeah, that was scary. That was scary to see.
It was, yeah. I didn't watch it live. I was watching something else, and then in another chat, my friend said, "Oh shit, like Bill Safety is like passed out on the field. He's been out for like 9 minutes, blah blah blah." So I'm like, "What the fuck?" So I'm on Twitter. I turn on ESPN. Like, what's going on here? So I saw the hit. I'm like, okay, it's like a regular routine tackle. You know, when I first heard that he was passed out or on the field, I thought, okay, NFL. I'm thinking concussion, like his head hit that shit real hard.
Right. And
then like in the actual highlight, when he stands up and falls, his head hits the ground too. So I'm like, oh, like maybe that also has an impact. But yeah, like, I mean, football of course is a very dangerous sport, but you don't expect someone to get hit in their heart and just have their heart stop. Like that's crazy, all the padding that's worn. I think I saw something on Twitter. It said like those kinds of injuries are more common in like hockey, lacrosse, and baseball, like sports with a smaller, more compact, harder ball. But the crown of the head, just happened to hit him in the right, quote unquote, spot to make that shit go haywire. It's like, yeah, I mean, my son was never gonna play football anyway. I wasn't gonna allow it. But it's like, bro, like that shit's crazy. Like, even now you gotta worry about that shit too. Like these freak occurrences. It's like,
yeah, I think there was a doctor who said that the way that happened was like, again, using the term right time loosely. It was the right hit at the right time at the right I guess position of his heart during his beat, at the right angle. It was just everything to cause that to happen. And that's you want to talk about a freak accident,
bro.
And obviously everybody were giving thoughts and prayers and everything for Damar Hamlin. I forget the name of the guy. He was also involved in the play. The guy who was tackling. T. Higgins. Man, now granted, I'm sure he's doing well now.
Yeah.
Knowing that he's recovering, that he's. But for the time being, it had to have been on his mind. Like, yo, did I just cause this man to die?
Right.
And that's the other side to consider when playing ball. Like, a lot of people think of, if they get injured or if the child gets injured, but it's heavy on the mind, heavy on the heart when you cause that to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm pretty sure people feel bad if they hit somebody and it's like, oh man, I was just going for a regular hit and he got concussed.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I feel bad now. To take a life. Oof. I don't know if that could. I don't know if he'd be able to shake that in you know, anytime soon.
Yeah.
But you know, this is another one of them situations that prove that tragedy brings people together. He had the charity, the GoFundMe.
Yep.
For like a toy drive, and he had a goal like $2,500.
It was like an old one too,
Mm-hmm.
instead of like 2020 or something like that.
And up to that point, it was at like, let's just say like $1,500, $2,000. And then by the end of the night, it had to have crossed over like 2 million.
Yeah.
And then the next few days, it crossed over 5. I think it's at like 7 million now.
Something like that. Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Probably higher now.
I mean, if only people could come together these ways and to put money towards other things that affect people positively, right, without having to think of, oh, somebody almost died, let me be positive now.
Yeah, you know, there's that whole aspect of, I mean, of course, it's a good thing that people are donating, yes, of course, but it's very performative. Yes. Activism, performative sympathy, performative grief, whatever it is. Like, these people, they haven't heard of Damar Hamlin before this.
I think they call that virtue signaling. Yeah,
they couldn't tell you what college he played for or anything like that. Oh, he's a Bills player? Oh, okay. Like, so that aspect kind of bothers me. And then also, like, you know, you have the whole, like, car crash, rubbernecking kind of aspect, too. Like, I heard on the radio that this was ESPN's most watched Monday Night Football broadcast.
Of course.
And, you know, the game stopped like 6 minutes in. You know what I'm saying? They're just, after that, there was no football played, but people are still tuning in. Like 25 million people watching to see, oh, what's going to happen? Is someone going to die? What's going to happen next? Like,
they wanted to see it live if they report that he died. That's what that was.
Yep.
That's what that was. I do give props to the NFL, although it did seem like they took kind of long.
They were trying to continue that game.
It was getting that ad revenue is what they were getting.
Yeah.
But I do give them props. You know, props were props are due. They did end up stopping the game. I didn't know they were going to just cancel it outright. I figured at some point they'd be able to just reschedule it.
The cancellation was like a last resort. Yeah. So they were talking about that after it happened. You know, there's reports that the referees were like, okay, y'all warm up for the next 5 minutes. We're gonna start soon. And then people are like, no, we're not gonna play. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's when the NFL, they were still dragging it on. Like, okay, yeah, let's run these ads. Like, let's have Troy Aikman and Joe Buck just try to fill this space. You know what I'm saying, for 2 hours. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the NFL players are not the number one priority, or at least not player safety or player well-being.
True.
You know what I'm saying? They like having players to generate those dollars, those billions. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, okay, if we can continue, let's continue. You know what I'm saying? This game has big playoff implications. The number one seed is at stake, so hopefully it's okay. But, you know, let's keep things going.
I think if they would have got him off the field, which, let's roll back to that. Why did it take them 9 minutes to get an ambulance on the field? Because I always thought that at the entrance where the players come out, there'd be an ambulance there. Maybe however further back that they need, there might be a fire truck. In the event something's needed, you get somebody out there to the field, put them in the back of that truck, get them to the hospital. The fact that it took them almost 10 minutes to even get the ambulance out there is crazy.
Yeah.
And again, man, I wish I had the man's name. The assistant trainer, coach, I forget his role, but he's essentially a man who saved his life.
The dude who was doing the CPR?
Yeah. He saved his life. Them two are linked together forever now.
Yeah.
So much respect to him. But they're not thinking about their safety, obviously, by not even having that prepared. Because just in the event of somebody being injured on the field, you should be prepared to be able to get them to a hospital.
Right.
So to have somebody pass out, turns out they had a cardiac arrest, and they're doing CPR for almost 10 minutes, and they didn't have an ambulance out there to get him out of there and have actual medical professionals tending to him. That right there could have been the cause of his death had he passed away.
Bro, lawsuit city. That shit would have been insane.
It's insane that they were not
still
prepared.
They still could probably find some grounds to do something,
Hell
man.
yeah. Hell yeah. But going back to the game itself, I figured it would be smart to cancel the game for the night.
Yeah.
And reschedule for another day. I didn't know they would go ahead and just be like, look, we're just not going to play this game.
Yeah. It's too close to the playoffs to make it like really feasible to replay, because if you play it later or reschedule it later, then you're putting the Bills and the Bengals at a disadvantage, expose them to more injury, even though they don't care about that. Yeah. But then you have the travel arrangements on top of that too, so it's a whole lot of factors involved. But their new system that they came up with also isn't very good, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess. You know, it's like if the Bills, Chiefs, or Bengals, if any two of those three teams make it to the AFC Championship game, they're going to play it at a neutral site.
Why is that?
Because both the Bills and the Bengals were both up for the number one seed. So depending on who won that game, they could have been tied theoretically with the Chiefs going into the playoffs. And so they could have been at home had that game actually been played to conclusion. So to kind of account for that, they're going to move it to a neutral site.
Interesting. And this is something that they came up with on the fly, basically, to
in the following days, they finally approved it. I think like on Friday maybe got the final stamp.
Interesting.
But the Bengals are mad because I mean they won their division, right? They had already clinched the division, and so if you win your division, you're supposed to have a home game at least for the very first playoff game. But for some reason, I didn't read much into it because I was like, okay, whatever. But they were playing the Ravens today in their division, and win or lose from that game, the Ravens are also in the playoffs. They have to go. It's going to a coin flip between the Bengals and the Ravens to see who hosts that playoff game. So if the Bengals lose that coin flip, they got to go play on the road at Baltimore, even though they won the division that Baltimore's also in, because they have one less game played. I don't know how they came up with that system, but it makes no sense.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah.
What I was going to say earlier was, had they got him off the field, let's say within like 2 minutes, I think they would have finished that game. Because it would have been like, oh, all right, he was passed out, we got him off the field, everybody's cool. It's the seeing him laid out was the problem.
Yeah.
That's when everybody was just like, we can't do this. I think had they got him off the field within the first like 2 minutes or so, they'd have been able to play the game and avoided all this mess that came from all the unpreparedness that they had. You know, it exposed a lot. What it reminded me of was back in 1990 something, during I think it was a WrestleMania, Owen Hart was entering the ring. Are you familiar with Owen Hart?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Okay. I forget you're younger than I am. So Owen Hart was a wrestler who so it was Owen Hart, Bret Hart, and they had a cousin who went by the name of British Bulldog. They were all family members who were in
Bret Hart.
WWF.
Yeah.
So Owen had this other character that I forget, it was like the Blue something, and so he would, Sting. Okay, so Sting would come down on the line, and so he would do something similar to that, coming down from the ceiling. But while they were lowering down, it snapped, and he fell, and he was at the quote unquote right angle, and his head hit the turnbuckle, broke his neck. He passed away.
Fuck.
But they, obviously once he fell, it was obvious that it wasn't part of the show. It was serious injury that happened, and so they got to him. They got an ambulance out there, and they got him out of the ring. During the broadcast, a little later on, they announced that he passed away, but they kept the show going.
God damn.
You know, and so like that reminds me with DeMar, like what could have happened.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, again, thankfully he's still with us, but had they got him out of there faster, they could have kept the game going, and then, you know, the unfortunate news, had it gone that way, would have been relayed later on. But it goes also back to just showing like just the lack of care for the people who you depend on for your business to thrive.
Hell yeah.
You know, this man fell and clearly just about obviously broke his neck live in front of, if this was on pay-per-view, but in front of millions of people watching and thousands of people in the stadium. And they were like, all right, let's get this next match going, though. Like, let's get this. Let's get Stone Cold out here now. Like,
yep. Even with like DeMar Hamlin, you know, we saw that tweet today, that report today. I guess it was supposed to be like a heartwarming, like, good job, guys, you did the right thing kind of tweet. But it said, like, in his contract, he had language in there that said if he ends up going on injured reserve for whatever reason, like, the team can pay him less. He loses money. You know what I'm saying? So if he blows his knee out with an ACL or whatever and can't play anymore, he's losing money. But they worked out some kind of deal with the NFLPA to, like, give him his full contract value even though he's hurt. It's like, bro, like, okay, yeah, that's great for him. But, you know, how many other contracts are there where people who are, like, giving their entire bodies to this violent contact sport, like, they break their hip or they get concussed or they blow their knee out and they can't play? How much money are they losing? You know what I'm saying? Like, he cannot be the only person in the league who has this contract language there.
Guarantee you, unless you are the star of stars, it's in your contract,
bro. That's crazy.
It's if we can't use you, then you get paid less.
It's already bad enough that the NFL is like the only major American league whose contracts are not fully guaranteed. But now on top of that, not only is it not fully guaranteed, you're not fully guaranteed just for that year. Really? Like, if you break your shit, you don't even get paid your full amount for that year, for that season? That is insane.
Right.
Insane.
Right. And then, you know, of course they're paying him out because of all the attention on it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it would have came out that, you know, hey, you know, unfortunately, you know, he has all these expenses now for his recovery, but now there's all these expenses that he was covering for his family. He's not able to because his contract says this. And it would have been a really bad look for the NFL. So they jumped ahead of it to do this to make themselves look good. But what they really did was expose themselves to say, hey, this is what you do.
Exactly.
So now the only good that's going to come out of this, that I hope, is that with that being exposed, that won't be in anybody else's contracts going forward. And hopefully they'll rework people's contracts now to take that out of their contracts.
Hell yeah. For that next collective bargaining agreement, they better, NFLPA better be like, hey, yo.
Question is,
take that shit out.
Question is, can all the players who did not get paid because they got injured now take that and say, we're going to class action lawsuit because I did not get paid because I got injured playing this game for your league? This shows that you can do it and that you would be willing to do it.
Yeah, but like, what legal standing would they have? Like, what law?
Maybe none
is broken.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But the publicity, the bad publicity on the NFL can force their hand to settle.
Yeah.
You know, they come through with a $300-500 million lawsuit. You know,
it would have to be like the right players, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because the players who would have the most clout to kind of push something like that through would be quarterbacks. And because of the way that the league is set up now, and
quarterbacks and running backs,
nobody cares about running backs.
Well, yeah. I'm thinking of, like, as far as fame, like the people who would come out and advocate for it, You know, just for the sake of bringing the attention.
Yeah,
because the bad attention is what they really don't want.
Yeah, I would still say quarterbacks by a wide margin. I mean, if you're watching like commercials, endorsements, like Russell Wilson isn't even a good player anymore, but he still has, you know, these Subway commercials and shit. You know, Justin Herbert out here now on like SoFi commercials. Like, people recognize quarterbacks in a sport where you're wearing a helmet all the time, you can't see your face. People recognize quarterbacks because of the amount of camera time they get, as well as the rules around them, like they're being protected. You know what I'm saying? So that was my original point. Like, quarterbacks would have the most clout to push something like that potentially through, but because the rules that are in place to protect them, they don't suffer nearly as many career-threatening injuries as running backs or receivers or whatever. Yeah, Tom Brady, exactly. So if Tom Brady ever said, "Hey, like, this shit's fucked up," like, we gotta make something happen. Like, but he hasn't been seriously injured since 2008, which caused them to change that rule because they want to protect the quarterbacks. You can't even breathe on the quarterback these days. Like, roughing the passer. Right. So the ones who are actually damaged and hurting, they don't have the notoriety, the fame, nor the fat contracts to even be like, hey, like, I lost out on all these wages. Like, okay, you didn't pay me $500K. NFL's gonna be like, all right, we'll pay you $500K and the other 10 people, so that's just $5 million.
Yeah,
no problem. We good.
Yeah. Because they're gonna pay them out of not paying somebody else for getting injured.
Yeah. It's a nasty machine, man.
Fucking NFL, man. They're probably one of the most famous, known to be bad for their employees,
bro,
or their contractors, and nobody really bats an eye at
Nope. At this point, they're like almost like an organized crime family, bro. They're just like untouchable.
The Goodell family.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're too big to fail. Y'all need us. So you know that we suck. You know that we're fucking people's lives up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're 28 years old, damn near paralyzed, arthritic, whatever it is. Like, hey, that's what you sign up.
Look at Andrew Luck, man. Look at Andrew Luck quitting in the middle of a game because his body was too broken,
bro,
and he just couldn't take it no more.
Chew you up, spit you out. You know,
hell yeah. But speaking of tweets, your boy Skipper Bayless. So I want to go back to this tweet. I want to go to the tweet before it. Skip Bayless said, quote, "I've seen so many horrific injuries suffered on the football fields, yet never have I seen a reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, hey, that's football. For these players, this was different. Facts." If he would have left it at that, it'd have been like, man, Skip, you speaking facts. Respect. But then he decided to say, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. One, I didn't like the word seems.
Right.
It should have been is. It's like nobody's thinking about the game. Now, I will say this, because you see what ended up happening with the rules of if this team wins or this team wins, and now they're going to play at a neutral place, and you know, you clinched your division, but you still have this coin flip thing.
Yeah.
What he said wasn't a lie. But you don't say that while the man is still laid out on the floor and we don't know if he's dead or not.
Completely tone deaf. 100%.
And it's like
1,000%.
If that wasn't bad enough, his double down on it.
Double down.
Now,
triple down.
I said he's going to come with a fake apology, and Fox is not going to do nothing about it. And then he didn't even apologize for the tweet.
Nope.
He apologized because he's so distraught. He's probably going to give a bad show today.
A bad solo show because Shannon Sharp did not show up.
Man. And then when Shannon did show up the following day, and he tried to explain to him why that was in such bad taste,
Yep.
and why that affected him
Wait. That's what he did.
He tried to explain to him why, as a former player, as somebody, you know, they always point out, Skip, you never been on this field before. You didn't go through this. Skip played basketball.
I think so.
He didn't have 250, 350-pound people purposely running at him to hurt him as a profession. He didn't go through this. He didn't have teammates going through this. And he tried to explain it to him, and he took every chance he could to say how, essentially, why he wasn't wrong for what he did. Instead of just sitting there and hearing him out. And he could have just heard him out and said, you know what, I understand why that came off that way. That wasn't my intent. And I apologize. I was trying to say this, taking into account what the league was clearly going to be thinking about. But it wasn't the right time, and that's my mistake. That right there would have saved him a lot of headache.
Oh, yeah.
But Skip Bayless, being an old, privileged white man, could not take being told why he was wrong.
Yeah.
And he had to find a way to say,
a black person.
There's this thing that I realized when watching their interactions, when they're, because it happened last time when they were arguing about Tom Brady. There's this thing that Skip does that I realized that a lot of when your privilege is showing, people do. And it's the sigh and eye roll. He does that a lot. It's I didn't say that.
Right.
I didn't say that. Okay, go ahead. That right there is so dismissive.
Yep.
And I don't think he even knows that he does it.
At this point, Skip is what, 70 plus years old, right? It's like
It's
ingrained in his behavior.
It's who he is. And Shannon tried.
He did.
He tried, man. And I think he knew that at that point, and this was like, the clip itself was like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think at like within a minute, he realized, if I don't just say, all right, let's just move on,
Bro.
this is going to go away to where I'm going to end up being made out to be the bad guy. Simply for standing up for the people that go through this thing, that I'm a part of this brotherhood.
He spoke for like, what, 30 seconds or so before Skip
could barely get a word out. Barely get a word out.
And he asked, hey, can I finish what I'm trying to say? No, but that's not what I'm not saying that, blah. Like, all right. Okay, Skip. He showed a lot of restraint, so...
To dismiss
Respect.
somebody and what they're trying to tell you, and then be like, okay, just go ahead. Like, that's...
I give you my permission now, nigger. Go ahead.
Outside
Gotta read the subtext.
Outside of in that safe space that they were in, and the money at risk, that is immediate smack 'em.
Hell yeah.
Immediate. Don't you disrespect me like that. What's wrong with you?
His days on that
Shannon,
show,
as a reformed man who came from this violent sport, who easily could have went to that, decided to just, I'm gonna let you have that. You know what that reminded me of? Remember when dude made the joke about the guy's wife? They went to commercial.
Oh yeah.
And he came back.
Yeah.
That's immediately what it made me think of. Because that's what Skip needs. He needs a nice jaw tap.
For sure.
He needs a nice jaw tap, just as a reminder. hey, this can happen for disrespect.
Gotta let them know.
We can argue, we can debate. That's what we're here for. That's what we get paid these millions for. But the moment you cross over to disrespect, we gotta. Hey, listen, man. We gotta go off camera. We gotta box it out one good time, and we can continue on. We can continue to work together. But Skip, he's one of them. He's one of those kinds of people that if you're not agreeing with what he's saying or reinforcing what he's doing, he will dismiss you, he will disregard you, and he's not going to understand why it's so wrong.
And that right there, people, is America in a nutshell. Boom.
So, in short, fuck you, Skip.
Fuck him.
Punk ass. Now, a lot of people were asking, will or should Shannon leave the show after that? I personally don't believe he should. I don't think he should leave. I think it was begged of him to return the next day. Cause
probably got a little raise too.
Ain't nobody trying to watch a whole show of just Skip Bayless.
No.
Nobody. He's inflammatory, and his position is good for the person who's more sane. He's a good antagonist.
Yeah.
That's what he's there for.
Yeah. I mean, if I were Shannon, he has his own platform off on the side, his podcast, what is it, Club Shay Shay?
Mm-hmm.
As a former player, he has access to everybody in the sports that he would want to have access to. So he could definitely have his own platform.
And they respect him.
Yeah, and they respect him. Like, he could have like a live show on Amazon Prime. They're always looking for some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the stress and the restraint that is required or seemingly required to deal with Skip Bayless on a daily basis or 5 times a week, whatever. If that were me, I don't know if it'd be worth it.
Clearly underpaid.
Yeah.
I don't even know his contract, and just having to deal with Skip Bayless on a daily basis is, you're already underpaid.
But maybe it's all a character. Maybe in real life, Skip is a normal ass dude. He's just trying to play that character to get the ratings and the income.
I'm sure part of it is played up for the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
It's like his LeBron hate. I doubt he's
truly been sucking LeBron up lately, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been like, "Oh my God, LeBron in year 20 is incredible. Wow, I can't stop watching him now. He's doing all things I've never been done." But like, some of his tweets lately about LeBron, they've been very.
Man, all it took was for this man to do things that nobody else has ever done, and play for as long as nobody's played, and stay healthy for as longer than anybody else, and have minimal injury, and
GOAT.
Do all these things to finally get his approval.
GOAT.
Man, fuck you, Skip.
Yeah.
But hey,
there is, I do wonder, like, because Skip's most 2 prominent positions, right, have been on Undisputed with Shannon and then First Take with Stephen A.
Mm-hmm.
Right, 2 black men.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I would be curious to see what his behavior would be like on a show with another white co-host. How would he behave then? You know what I'm saying? Would he still be as antagonistic if he was with someone who he quote unquote, well, I guess I shouldn't quote, but someone who was more like in his demographic? Like if you had, who's like another old white man? I don't know, Tony Kornheiser from PTI, or like Bill Simmons, somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, put those 2 together on a show in a room. I wonder what those interactions would be like.
Yeah, I think the dynamic of their difference even if it's not made to be a primary thing of the difference in the race, it's definitely plays into it. I don't think they would want to have Skip with somebody who's too similar to him, you know, or somebody who would
give him a woman.
Would a show with Skip Bayless and a woman, who would take that position? I don't know.
Somebody.
I don't know. 'Cause I don't think he would allow himself to be so loud with them, because he wouldn't want the feminist brigade to come after him for screaming at a woman because and telling her she doesn't know basketball.
Would he really care though? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Then again, yeah, he might thrive in it. I think he likes being the enemy.
Yeah.
I think he likes being the enemy, and it's part of his shtick.
For sure.
It's who he is now. He's committed to the role, you know, and he's gonna forever lean into that. So
fuck him.
We'll see. Yeah, man. Fuck you, Skip. So, damn, I hope that didn't sound bad. That sounded nasty. I have this. I've been dealing with this congestion, and I don't know, man. One of these days it'll clear up. Granted, it's not. It's irritating because I wish, like, well, I don't really wish my body was aching, but I almost wish I was. So it'd be like, all right, it's this. My body's aching. I'm going through congestion. It's the whole package. It's just the congestion. I can go play basketball right now. I feel great.
So it's winter allergies, man. We got a lot of shit out here.
I don't have allergies. I mean, unless I'm developing as I age, that would suck. I've never heard of anybody developing allergies late in life. That would be absolute trash if I got all the way to this big age and then I start having seasonal allergies like a bitch. Not that having allergies makes you a bitch, but getting them late in life is whack. It's like getting chicken pox after like 6 years old or something. Like, who does that?
Or as an adult.
Yeah, it's like who
vaccinate your children, people.
Who? Yes. Vaccinate your children. Don't let the people. Oh man! Before we close out, man, a big negative shout out to everybody who was in the comments for ESPN and every other sports outlet saying that he passed out because this was due to the jab and this was due to the COVID vaccines and everything.
I didn't even see those comments.
Man, every time I would see it, I didn't want to engage because if I did, I would probably end up on another Twitter ban, and I don't want that right now in my life. I'm trying to
under the radar,
trying to have a peaceful Twitter experience. I'm still not verifying my email for Twitter because I feel like once I do, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're that guy who had that other page."
You never know. It's Elon's Twitter now. You might be straight.
Hey man, I need Elon to
if Kanye can be brought back, you might be straight.
I need Elon to unsuspend my old page, man. That'd be tight.
Yeah,
I'll bring that back. But hey, well,
this is random, real quick before we close out.
What's up?
Just thinking about Twitter, all those times, like going back to Tory Lanez real quick. All I kept on seeing was, you know, his DNA was not on the gun. His DNA was not on the gun. His DNA was not on the gun. And I used to watch like a lot of Law and Order SVU. That was like my show for like a long time. So every time I saw those tweets, I'm just like, okay, so he's not like none on guns. That's what it is. That's what your DNA is. You know what I'm saying? And I knew they weren't saying that, but that's what I came up because SVU, everything was about semen. You know what I'm saying? So these are the procedures that I'm used to hearing about. So I'm like, all right. And then it reminded me of Superbad too. You know what I'm saying? With the semen semen database. It's like, okay, if the guy had punched you in the eye and then jizzed, we could have caught him, but he didn't. So
yeah, man.
Thanks, SVU, for that.
Unfortunately, as far as we know, Daystar Peterson did not ejaculate on the weapon after shooting Megan Thee Stallion.
Double shot, double barrel.
You
You know
know,
what I'm
he
saying?
shot off and shot off.
Oh shit.
Daystar, son of Sunstar. Damn, that's a bad series of names. I'm sorry, man.
It's pretty terrible.
That's pretty bad. What if his son's name is Night Star?
Shit,
Gets
probably, right?
like it's superhero family over here. A group of Canadian superheroes. Shout out to Canada. But I don't think anybody wants to see Canadian superstars, superheroes.
No.
You know.
Wait, is Wolverine Canadian? He might be Canadian.
Is Wolverine Canadian? If he is, then I take that back. And Canadians can actually have cool superheroes. But I think we're off on a tangent.
Yes.
I might need, strangely, one more cup of coffee at 3:45 p.m. on this Sunday. So that I can function and finish cleaning any last bit of this house that I need to. This is our first episode back. This is Keep Elevated, season dos. You can follow us at keep.elevated.
Yes. Instagram is at keep.elevated. Twitter is at keep_elevated? Question mark?
We'll have it on the screen.
Just type in Keep Elevated. You'll find us.
As you can see, we now have a video aspect we are trying to bring in. I will say before this recording ends, when we were talking about the daycare thing, I did realize that once we got to mentioning about like it's whatever that was came out, if it was like hourly, it came out to like 60 something grand. That is when I started the video because I realized it wasn't recording. I'm just being transparent here.
Respect.
So we'll have the full episode on video coming forward or going forward. But this is Keep Elevated. If you're at this point, shout out to you.
Yes. We are also on. You might want to close your ears on this one, Josiah, but we are also on TikTok now.
Yes.
Yes. We have no content yet, but with these video clips, we're going to be out there and try to get hip with you youngsters these days. Don't know how to do the tickies and the talkies, but we'll try to figure it out. So that is at Keep Elevated, I think. No dot. Just regular Keep Elevated.
Keep Elevated on TikTok. No dancing. No dancing.
No.
Until next time. Peace.